You're tuned to Arrow FM, your local community access radio station. The time now being on 8 o'clock, time for another hour of the great music that came out in the 1960s with the 60s Nostalgia Show. The 60s Nostalgia Show is kindly sponsored by Cotter and Stevens, the electrical contractors down in Jellicoe Street in Martinborough. And Cotter and Stevens have been in the Wairarapa for a number of decades now, doing electrical contracting, both private and also commercial. And they are also geniuses around the dairy shed and know lots about dairy plant because they are the De Laval agents down here. Nothing really planned for the show tonight apart from I'm going to feature an LP, but apart from that, nothing really planned. So if you'd like to hear a particular song, artist or band, just give us a ring here on 378-0255, 378-0255, and I'll see if I can dig it out for you. All you got to do is ring that phone number and push 3 and you'll get straight through to the studio.
I said the joint was rocking, going round and round, yeah, reeling and rocking, what a crazy sound. And they never stopped rocking till the moon went down. Well, it sounds so sweet, I had to take me a chance. Rose out of my seat, I just had to dance. Started moving my feet, oh, to clapping my hands. I said the joint was rocking, going round and round, yeah, reeling and rocking, what a crazy sound. And they never stopped rocking till the moon went down. Yeah, 12 o'clock, yeah, the place is packed. Front doors was locked, yeah, the place is packed. And when the police knocked, those doors flew back. But they kept on rocking, going round and round, yeah, reeling and rocking, what a crazy sound. And they never stopped rocking till the moon went down. Yeah, they kept on rocking, going round and round, yeah, reeling and rocking, what a crazy sound. And they never stopped rocking till the moon went down. And
such a great edition, or rendition rather, of Chuck Berry's Around and Around. Of course, it was the Rolling Stones from the album called 12 by 5. Next up, we've got the Swingin' Blue Jeans, and we'll follow that one up with Paul Revere and the Raiders.
For goodness sake, I got the hippie, hippie shakes. Yeah, I got the shakes. I got the hippie, hippie shakes. Oh, I can't sit still with the hippie, hippie shakes. Yeah, I feel now with the hippie, hippie shakes. Yeah, it's in the bag. Oh, the hippie, hippie shake. Well, now you shake it to the left, you shake it to the right. You do the hippie shake, shake with all of your might, oh baby. Yeah, come on and shake. Oh, it's in the bag. Oh, the hippie, hippie shake. Well, now you shake it to the left, you shake it to the right. You do the hippie shake, shake with all of your might, oh baby. Yeah, come on and shake. Oh, it's in the bag. Ooh, the hippie, hippie shake. Ooh, the hippie, hippie shake. Ooh, the hippie, hippie shake. It's just like me to say to you, love me do, and I'll be true. And what I'd like for you to say is you'll come home to me each day. How you'll be my girl, that's what I want. Just you, sweet girl, and not a front. It's just like me, I feel so blue, and I fall so much in love with you. It's just like me. It's just like me. I act a fool. That's how I'll be. But it's just like you to say goodbye and leave me all alone to cry. It's just like me to say to you, love me do, and I'll be true. And what I'd like for you to say is that you'll love me here each day. It's just like me. It's just like me. I'm the fool. That's how I'll be. Oh, it's just like you to say goodbye and leave me alone to cry. Oh, just like me. Oh, it's just like me. It's just like you, baby. It's just like you. Oh, it's just like me. It's just like me. I want your love. I gotta see. Oh, it's just like me. Oh, yeah.
From 1965 there, Paul Revere and the Raiders, and Just Like Me. And I was reading in the Oldies website today that Mark Lindsay, who was the lead vocalist for Paul Revere and the Raiders, has cancelled a few concert dates because he's had a pacemaker insert. It shouldn't snigger, but just shows that these old rockers are getting older. Right, next up we're going to have a track from The Casuals, and then we'll play a song for Di.
Hey! He was just a thing you'd like to play with, a little toy for you to pass the day with. Oh, now someone took away your toy, and she will not give him back. What will you do, oh boy? Treats him like a man likes to be treated, not the way you did, you lied and cheated. Oh, now someone took away your toy, and she will not give him back. What will you do, oh boy? You would never ask for anything, you would demand. He was your tin soldier, and you were in command. Now he's gone, you only have yourself to blame. You must find somebody else to play your game. Oh, now someone took away your toy, and she will not give him back. What will you do, oh boy? You would never ask for anything, you would demand. He was your tin soldier, and you were in command. Now he's gone, you only have yourself to blame. You must find somebody else to play your game. Oh, now someone took away your toy, and she will not give it back. What will you do, oh boy?
The Casuals there and Toy, and that brought the time to 13 and a half minutes after 8 o'clock here on Arrow FM. Time now for a request from Di. She's wanting to hear a Cliff Richard song, and but the only one I've managed to find so far is this one from the early 1960s, and Please Don't Tease.
Tell me that you love me, baby, then you say you don't. You tell me that you'll come on over, then you say you won't. You love me like a hurricane, then you start to freeze. I'll give it to you straight right now. Please don't tease. You come right out and tell me you're out with someone new. You play it all so doggone cool. I don't know what to do. You never seem to answer me. You just don't hear my pleas. I'll give it to you one more time. Please don't tease. Oh, please don't tease me. You know it hurts so much. Come on and squeeze me. You know I need your tender touch, but you tell me that you love me, baby, then you say start to freeze, I'll give it to you straight right now. Please don't tease. Please don't tease me. You know it hurts so much. Come on and squeeze me. You know I need your tender touch. But you tell me that you love me, baby, but you say you don't. You tell me that you'll come on over, but you say you won't. You love me like a hurricane, then you start to freeze. I'll give it to you one more time. Please don't tease.
Let me tell you about the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees and the moon up above and a thing called love. Let me tell you about the stars in the sky and a girl and a guy and the way they could kiss on a night like this. When I look into your big brown eyes, it's so very plain to see that it's time you learn about the facts of life, starting from A to Z. Let me tell you about the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees and the moon up above and a thing called love. Yeah! When I look into your big brown eyes, it's so very plain to see that it's time you learn about the facts of life, starting from A to Z. Let me tell you about the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees and the moon up above and a thing called love. Let me tell you about the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees and the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees, about the birds and the bees and the flowers and
Jewel Aikens there and Birds and Bees, of course, the subject that fathers don't really like discussing with their sons. Right, next up we'll have a track from this album I want to feature tonight. We'll only play a couple of tracks from it, and I'll keep doing this, I think, for a while. I'll bring down original albums from the 1960s and pick songs from them that weren't actually hits for the artists. From this particular album, they actually had no hits, but it's an interesting album altogether by the Springfields.
Oh, when I was a little bitty baby, my mama would rock me in the cradle in them old cotton fields back home. Oh, when I was a little bitty baby, my mama would rock me in the cradle in them old cotton fields back home. Oh, when them cotton balls get rotten, you can't pick very much.
That was the Springfields from an album they recorded in 1961 in Nashville, Tennessee, and the album's called Folk Songs from the Hills. Of course, the Springfields were a popular trio in the early 1960s, made up of Dusty Springfield and her brother Tom Springfield and a guy called Mike Pickworth. And of course, Dusty and Tom Springfield weren't their true names. Dusty's true name was Mary O'Brien, and if I remember correctly, Tom's name was Dion O'Brien. I'll put this album up, and hopefully you'll be able to see it. I hope it comes out okay. So, yeah, Springfield's Folk Songs from the Hills, and where are we? I'm just trying to line up a shot of Dusty Springfield there with a great head of hair. Interesting album, that one, all sort of country folk songs, and Cottonfield's a great Leadbelly song, and I think I might play in a few songs' time the great country song called A Foggy Mountain Top. And of course, with LPs, a lot of them had pretty extensive liner notes, trying to figure out which way to put it. We might just give that a miss, but yeah, you can see that someone has gone to a lot of trouble to write a lot of things, and the guy that did that was a fellow called Ed Hamilton from WENO Radio, Nashville, Tennessee.
Sweets for my sweet, sugar for my honey, your first sweet kiss thrills me so. Sweets for my sweet, sugar for my honey, I'll never ever let you go. If you wanted that star that shines so brightly to match the stardust in your eye, darling, I would chase that bright star nightly and try to steal it from the sky. And I would bring sweets for my sweet, sugar for my honey, your first sweet kiss thrills me so. Sweets for my sweet, sugar for my honey, I'll never ever let you go. If you wanted a dream to keep you smiling, I'd tell the Sandman you were blue, and I'd ask him to keep that sand up piling until your dreams would all come true. And I would bring sweets for my sweet, sugar for my honey, your first sweet kiss thrills me so. Sweets for my sweet, sugar for my honey, I'll never ever let you go. And if you wanted a love to last forever, darling, I would send my love your way. And my love not only lasts forever, but forever and a day. And I would bring sweets for my sweet, sugar for my honey, your first sweet kiss thrills me so. Sweets for my sweet, sugar for my honey, I'll never ever let you go.
The Search is there, and Sweets for my sweets, and that brought a time to 26 minutes after 8 o'clock here on Arrow FM, your local community access radio station, and you're listening to the 60s and Nostalgia Show, which is kindly sponsored by Cotter and Stevens, the electrical contractors down in Jellicoe Street in Martinborough. Wizards all around cow sheds. Next up, we've got Johnny Tillotson and Poetry in Motion.
When I see my baby, what do I see? Poetry, poetry in motion. Poetry in motion. Walking by my side, her lovely locomotion keeps my eyes open wide. Poetry in motion. See her gentle sway, all wave out on the ocean. Could never move that way. I love every movement. There's nothing I would change. She doesn't need improvement. She's much too nice to rearrange. Poetry in motion, dancing close to me, a flower of devotion, a swaying gracefully. Oh, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Poetry in motion. See her gentle sway, a wave out on the ocean. Could never move that way. I love every movement. There's nothing I would change. She doesn't need improvement. She's much too nice to rearrange. Poetry in motion. All that I adore. No number 9 love potion could make me love her more. Oh, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
Goes and flows of angel hair and ice cream castles in the air and feathered canyons everywhere. I've looked at clouds that way, but now they only block the sun. They rain and snow on everyone. So many things I would have done, but clouds got in my way. I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow it's clouds' illusions I recall. I really don't know clouds at all. Moons and Junes and Ferris wheels, the dizzy dancing way you feel when every fairy tale comes real. I've looked at love that way, but now it's just another show. You leave 'em laughing when you go, and if you care, don't let them know. Don't give yourself away. I've looked at love from both sides now, from wind and moon, and still somehow it's love's illusions I recall. I
good time. Come on with me and leave your troubles behind. I don't care where you've been. You ain't been nowhere till you've been in. With the in crowd, yeah. Oh, with the in crowd. We got our own way of walking, yeah. We got our own way of talking. In the in crowd.
Toby Gray there, and the in crowd. Before that, we had Judy Collins and Both Sides Now. Next up, we've got a track written and performed by a guy called Ernie Maresca, and the song's called Shout, Shout and Knock Yourself Out. And I played another song that he wrote a couple of weeks ago, and of course he wrote several songs. He was a very successful songwriter, but one of the big hits he had was The Wanderer with Dion. But here's old Ernie singing himself, Shout, Shout and Knock Yourself Out, and we'll follow that one up with another track from the Springfields.
Wop, 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 ba-da-da-da, wop, 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 ba-da-da-da, wop, 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 ba-da-da-da, wop, 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 ba-da-da-da. Shout, shout, and knock yourself out. Come on, yell, yell, loud and swell. You gotta scream, scream. You know what I mean? Put another dime in the wrecking machine. Hey, we're having a party now. It's just begun. We're all over here and having fun. Joe's all alone and he wants to be kissed. But Mary's in a corner and she's doing a twist. So let's shout, shout, and knock yourself out. Come on, yell, yell, loud and swell. You gotta scream, scream. You know what I mean? Put another dime in the wrecking machine. Hey, play another song like a runaround Sue. Whoa, let's do a dance that we all can do. Turn that jukebox up mighty loud, and let's liven up this crazy crowd. Come on, shout, shout, and knock yourself out. Come on, yell, yell, loud and swell. You gotta scream, scream. You know what I mean? Put another dime in the wrecking machine. Everybody that I attend, believe me now, it's the living end. Moving and a grooving with some friends of mine. On Saturday night now, we're having a time, so let's shout, shout, and knock yourself out. Come on, yell, yell, loud and swell. You gotta scream, scream. You know what I mean? Put another dime in the wrecking machine. Hey, through the fly with our hands in the sky. Yeah, foot stomping, baby, just to you and I. School was out about 2:45, and we're having fun now. It's plain to see, so let's shout, shout, and knock yourself out. Come on, yell, yell, loud and swell. You gotta scream, scream. You know what I mean? Put another dime in the wrecking machine. Wop, wop, ba-da-da-da, wop, 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 wop.
Great track there from old Ernie, recorded in 1962. The year before that, the Springfields were in Nashville, Tennessee, where they recorded this track.
If I was on some foggy mountain top, I'd sail away to the west. I'd sail around this whole wide world to the one I love the best. If you had listened to what your mama said, you would not have been here today. Oh,
The Springfields there with the old country classic, Foggy Mountaintop. That was a song first put out by the Carter family years and years and years ago. Song written by the patriarch of the Carter family, A.P. Carter, and that was from that album that the Springfields recorded in Nashville, Tennessee. If you want to know where I got that from, I actually found that in the records up in Woodville at the second-hand shop, which I think is called the Vikings Hall. It's across the road from the toilets, and he has actually quite a lot of records up there, and they're in good condition. He's just got a whole lot more in over the last 2 or 3 weeks. So if you happen to be passing through Woodville and you want a comfort stop, have a comfort stop, go across the road and have a rummage through that guy's records. Right, let's hear what Dusty Springfield turned into in the later 1960s.
Son, and when his daddy would visit, he'd come along. When they gathered around and started talking, Cousin Billy would take me walking. Out through the backyard we go walking. Then he looked into my eyes. Lord knows to my surprise, the only one who could ever reach me was the son of a preacher man. The only boy who could ever teach me was the son of a preacher man. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Being good isn't always easy, no matter how hard I try. When he started sweet talking to me, he'd come and tell me everything is alright. He'd kiss and tell me everything is alright. Can I get away again tonight? The only one who could ever reach me was the son of a preacher man. The only boy who could ever teach me was the son of a preacher man. Yes, he was. He was. Lord knows he was. Yes, he was. How well I remember the look was in his eyes, stealing kisses from me on the slide, taking time to make time, telling me that he's all mine, learning from each other's knowing, looking to see how much we've grown. And the only one who could ever reach me was the son of a preacher man. The only boy who could ever teach me was the son of a preacher man. Yes, he was. He was. Oh, yes, he was. The only one who could ever reach me. He was the sweet talking son of a preacher man. The only boy who could ever teach me. I guess he was the son of a preacher man. The only one who could ever move me sweet was the son of a preacher man. The only one who could ever move me was the son of a preacher man. The only one who could ever.
Dusty Springfield there, and that was from the album, if I remember rightly, Dusty in Memphis, and a big hit for her in the late 1960s with The Son of a Preacher Man. Righto, Di, I happened to find another Cliff Richard song.
The young ones, darling, we're the young ones, and the young ones shouldn't be afraid to live low while the flame is strong, 'cause we may not be the young ones very long. Tomorrow, why wait until tomorrow? 'Cause tomorrow sometimes never comes. So love me, there's
song to be sung, and the best time is to sing it while we're young. Once in every lifetime comes a love like this. Oh, I need you, you need me. Oh, my darling, can't you see? Young dreams should be dreamed together, and the young hearts shouldn't be afraid. And someday, when the years have flown, darling, then we'll teach the young ones of our own. Once in every lifetime comes a love like this. Oh, I need you and you need me. Oh, my darling, can't you see? Young dreams should be dreams together, and the young hearts shouldn't be afraid. And someday, while the years have flown, darling, then we'll teach the young ones of our own.
Twelve and a half minutes to 9 o'clock. You're listening to the 60s Nostalgia Show, which is kindly sponsored by Cotter and Stevens. Next up, we've got the Buckinghams.
Kind of a drag when your baby don't love you. Kind of a drag when you know she's been untrue. Oh, listen to what I gotta say. Girl, I still love you. I'll always love you. Anyway. Kind of a drag when your baby says goodbye. Kind of a drag when you feel like you wanna cry. Oh, girl, even though you made me feel blue, I still love you. I'll always love you. Anyway.
Next up, we've got a track from The Byrds, and this is from the album they put out in 1968, the album called Dr. Byrds and Mr. Hyde, and it's the drugstore truck driving man.
He's a drugstore truck driving man. He's the head of Ku Klux Klan. When some truck driving man. He's the head of the Ku Klux Klan. When summer rolls around, he'll be lucky if he's not in town. Really don't like the young folks I know. He told me one night on his radio show, he's got him a medal he won in the war. Weighs 500 pounds and sleeps on his floor. He's a drugstore truck driving man. He's the head of the Ku Klux Klan. When summer rolls around, he'll be lucky if he's not in town. He's been like a father to me. He's the only DJ you can hear after 3. I'm an all-night musician in a rock and roll band, and why he don't like me, I can't understand. He's a drugstore truck driving man. He's the head of the Ku Klux Klan. When summer rolls around, he'll be lucky if he's not in town. He'll be lucky if he's not in town. This one's for you, Ralph.
Birds there from that brilliant period of time they had in the late 1960s with the country rock, and it was a song written by Roger McGuinn and Graham Parsons. Right up, last song tonight is Johnny Cash.
That keeps your memory on my mind.
Well, we got there in the end.
Love is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring. Bound by wild desire, I fell into a ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. The taste of love is sweet when hearts like ours meet. I fell for you like a child. Oh, but the fire went wild. I fell into into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire, the ring of fire, the ring.
Johnny Cash there, bringing to a close another edition of the 60s Nostalgia Show, which was first broadcast all over the wonderful Wairarapa on Arrow FM, and brought to you with the kind sponsorship of Cotter and Stevens, the electrical contractors down in Jellicoe Street in Martinborough.